G'day everybody, and welcome back for some more Survival Impossible. Back here on Omicron. Things do feel a little bit different though. One of the big changes I've made was I might have had a little bit of fun with voxel hands, completing the road between the two segments of the base all the way down here to the aerodrome, and taking it all the way, I've lost track of it, all the way over to Steve's hole in the wall, and then all the way from Steve's hole in the wall and up to the magnesium mine. But that's not really the big change here. The big change here is that there have been a few mods that have been tweaked, replaced, and removed. The big removal? Reavers. Bye-bye. I don't need Reavers anymore. Combat, I don't think was the right thing to focus on for this save. At least that style of combat. The kind of combat that allows me to engineer fun things and then go out and shoot something with it. Good. The kind of combat that crashes onto my Arboretum. Bad. You also might notice that my HUD has changed. That's because no more daily needs. Instead of daily needs, what we've got is the vanilla survival experience by Rocket. This integrates much more nicely with Space Engineers. So you can see that on the HUD, the water, the food, etc. is all nice and neatly there. And you can notice a thing that says 0 rads. That will become relevant if I ever go back up to the lawn chair, because I need to be in a pressurized space or I start accumulating radiation, and once that bar fills up, it starts to kill me. And that's bad. But what it also means is I've had to, well, I've completely removed all of the blocks that were in the Arboretum, and I've got some backup food and water here just in case while I do the replacement of those blocks. So if we go down to the Arboretum, we can have a look at what we're going to do. Previously what I had was, well, once we get down inside, you'll see there's a kind of gap. But down here, I previously had all my food production, water production, and all that side of things. And that's obviously just vanished when I removed the mod. What I need to put in its place are some of these guys, some of these organic planters, or at least these are the ones I want to use. I want to use these because these blocks have the ability to turn dirt into organics. I can then use those organics to produce food with my survival kit. Trouble is, my survival kit is a long way away. I'm gonna have to bring my survival kit back to base. And because I've gotten rid of Reavers, that should be fine. I'm gonna bring my survival kit back here, and I'm going to then be able to use it to produce food when I need food to eat. Water, on the other hand, is handled a little bit differently. So what I need down here is going to be a water tank and a water generator. So I might go back and grab the bits I need for that. I'm going to go with a water generator here, and I'll put the water tank just in front of it on the ground. One of the really nice things about this mod is that it integrates the vanilla systems better, or integrates with them a lot better. So for example, if I'm carrying a bottle that looks very much like a hydrogen bottle but says water bottle in my inventory, it'll just automatically refill just as hydrogen and oxygen do. That's probably not how I'm going to work with it most of the time, I think, because the hydrogen bottle, well, bottles are quite large. I don't really want to have to deal with that scale of thing. But you can do it that way if you like. But the other thing, and this is the big thing, is that all of the production works just like vanilla and does not get in the way of things like your assembler being the first thing that shows up in the list. So that means I can connect the Arboretum up to the rest of my base and have them connected. So I don't need to worry about having this isolated so that my production window isn't all messed up every time. There we go. That's those two built. That should allow me to get some water. Then we have these blocks. We've got a water condenser, which I presume works by just grabbing air and turning it into water. I don't think I'll use that because that's going to use a bit of power, and I've got access to quite a lot of ice, so it shouldn't be a problem. Then we have our organics planters. Now these have some special requirements. These need to be in pressurized environments to work. That's why I think I'm going to stick with these, because I like the idea of something that needs to be in a pressurized environment to function, and thus gives me a reason for the Arboretum beyond having this one remaining tree standing. And I think what I'll probably do is place these organic planters down here where I had my little barbecue deck, instead of having my barbecue deck, so that I've got a little farm down here that's producing stuff whenever I have a bit of soil that can be used for that. And I will be using voxel hands to fix this ground so that it looks all nice again. But I think what I'll do, instead of having the blueprint projection of the tree down on the deck, I'll put it roughly where I remember the other tree being, so that we can have a tree in its honor. Now, as I said, I'm going to need to bring the survival kit back here, but I'm also going to need to add in a basic assembler. One of the goals I had when I started out with this series was to give basic refineries a purpose, but I couldn't think of anything for basic assemblers. And I sort of couldn't get the vanilla survival experience to work properly with the planet, so I added a recipe to the basic assembler that allows it to make the soil you would normally dig up the ground for in this. So what I'm going to do is go for a basic assembler. I think I'll pop it just here. Although I do like having cargo access there, but am I actually going to need it? I don't think so, because I've got cargo access via these. This top, that's a cargo access. Or conveyor access, so that should probably work just fine. So the basic assembler will be able to take stone, no, not stone, gravel, ice, and organics to produce soil. That dirt will then be taken to that farm. The farm will then use that dirt to produce more organics, and so the cycle continues. As long as I keep pumping extra stone and extra ice into the loop, I can produce surplus organics with that loop, which will then give me a, well, the organics needed to make food. I probably don't want the assembly here. What I probably want to do... Nuts. I've already put everything in. Oh, back to scrap. Nuts. What I probably want to do is put the survival kit there. Do I have any silver at all? Not sure. Do I have any bottles here? Yes. I can fill up. Back to the old problem of not having any silver, so I can't move the med kit, because if I grind it down, I'll lose part of the medical components. And I don't really want to have to move a small grid survival kit in there. Do I have any silver at all? I have 4.83. How much is needed for medical components? 6.67 each. There's only 0.67 in each of those fancy welders, but I do have those two fancy welders, so I'm going to break them down. If anything else that might contain silver. Doesn't look like it. Oh, that's a pity. Well, I think what I'm going to have to do is go and collect my survival kit then. I think, vehicles-wise, Manny might be the best equipped to do that. So I can just go down there and grab the whole thing. I should probably eat and drink before I leave, because I've got a little bit of food. My health is going up, which is also another bonus of this. I don't need the survival kit to get my health back up to full. Eating and drinking with this will boost my health. So I should, eventually, even if I wasn't bringing the survival kit home, get my health back up to 100. But I think it's well and truly time to bring the survival kit home. Okay. Now, do I remember how to use this? Because this was before broadcast controllers, so... we unlock... turn off for charge, move forward. And press that. Now we open the gates. Nice. Oh yeah. Works like a charm. Yeah. So there'll be a few little upgrades I have planned around here. One of which is to make those collectors in there into an actual grinder pit. Because after much deliberating and trying to find alternative, better solutions, I have done a thing I didn't expect I would do. I have disabled tool shake. Because tool shake is what stops grinder pits from working. And that's sad. I'd like grinder pits to work, because then Manny can just pick up one of the drops that I send down from the lawn chair and just pop it in the grinder pit, drive back, turn on the grinder pit, and we're good. That's how it should be. Now, GPS. I need to have my survival kit GPS. Where is it? Oh dear. I don't know. Poop. It was like nickel mine or something, I think. Oh, we'll see if I find it. I know it's in this direction, and I know it's near that pass, so I should be able to get there, I think. So one of the other reasons for me switching over to the BSE mod for my survival needs is that it kind of fits in neatly with what I had sort of intended as the goal behind the whole use up heaps and heaps of oxygen all the time, which is that pressurized spaces are useful. Because of that radiation thing, if I want to go to space, I need a pressurized space so I don't die. And that is much more interesting to engineer around, to an extent, than just slapping a cargo container full of food and water. I'm hoping that that's just going to feel a bit better. A bit more well-suited. Oh! Hello. Did not realize that any of them had landed this far away. I was looking in the menu and I didn't actually look at those until just then. Cool. I should probably just GPS mark these. And I'll move them another time. Maybe once I've got that grinder pit set up, like I was talking about. Here it is, here's the entryway. Oh yeah. This was before I'd figured out how to make smoothish roads. Now, do I think I'll be able to pick up the whole thing, or do I grind off all but the survival kit and just grab it? What's in the cargo container? Oh wow. There's actually stuff in there. I'll just grab it as is. Manny should have enough counterweight that as long as I line up kind of okay, if I do hit the ground with it, it'll at least be the wheels. Maybe when I get outside of here, I can drop it and line it up better. Then I have to try and drag this out of here without hitting the roof. I'd wish I'd actually... Oh, wait! If I go to those drops, I can put some iron in Manny, and then that'll counterweight things a bit better. So I'm trying to reverse back so that I can line up with this thing, because hopefully if I can line up with it at least, I can then put myself in a position where I can tow the thing. Maybe? Especially if I enable steering on my rear wheels on Manny. Come on, let's get out of this hole. Come on. Come on, Manny, you can do it. And then if I can get that iron from one of those drops, hopefully I can get heavy enough that I can lift up the whole front and not actually have to drive on those wheels at all. Auto tree. Forward. It's sort of letting me steer, but not really. And yet, I still feel this was the right vehicle to use for this. I should probably just disable steer on the front wheels too. Yeah. I've had worse driving experiences. This handle's okay. Cool, this works. Let's get this thing back to home so I can use it. Kind of makes me happy to be back doing silly things like this that feel also justified given the circumstances. So once I've gotten back, the next thing to do is to go get some ice and some rock. So I can start this process of getting dirt and organics so that I can make some food. There we go, we found the magnesium road, so I can just follow that home now. One of the things I really liked about painting these roads on is that now that I've got this, I don't need the GPS markers for the waypoints. I can just follow the road, and it takes me where I know it should take me if I actually have the power to get up the hill. If I start adding too many roads, then I might get lost on them, but while there are this few, it's very easy to just follow it from one way to the other, and I know roughly which way to go. And I know that it's a path that is mostly drivable. That's the other big thing. Hey, all down here, nicely covered with roads. And up the hill we go. No! No! Oh dear. Can't make it up the hill. What if I increase the top speed so I can get more of a run up? on the bits where I can move. I'm going faster by the time I get to there. Right, with higher top speed. Come on. Not a chance. There we go. Just a little detour. Maybe I need to build an extra road around here that's... like lay down an extra road that shows where the path to go is when I can't get up the hill. Alright. Yep, I'm going to grind down everything except for the survival kit. So I shouldn't need a lot of the stuff. Like, I don't need anything down there. If I'm going to be respawning up here, that's where I'm respawning. Probably should have parked closer to where I could grind this down into, but, you know, whatever. It happens. Not sure whether I need that battery, but it's a fully charged battery. May as well keep one of them lying around, hey? Or another one of them. I've still got the little red battery sitting behind the base there. Maybe now it'll one day get a use. Something that's a little bit of a problem for me is that with this new mod, I've had to get rid of my HUD mod, which had the gigantic O2 low warning. So that could potentially backfire on me later. Maybe. We will see. We'll see how bad I am at paying attention to my HUD with a bigger red symbol down at the bottom without the one that's flashing right in my face. Oop, there goes the survival kit. Now this is one of the other mods that I added that didn't exist when I last played this, which is the ability to drag this around. I'm going to try and drag it through the door. I hope it fits. I haven't checked. I don't know if 3 blocks is too wide. If it is, I'll probably crush myself to death with it. I will probably try and remove the doors to bring this down inside. I'm very skeptical about being able to get this through the door. I'm very skeptical about my ability to line it up so I can even get it through the door. Oh. Or maybe. Hey, we got it through one door. If I can get it through one, I can break it getting through 2. There we go. Now let's get it down the stairs. 3 doors. 1 more door to go and a whole lot of stairs to go. Come on. Jump. 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 That little lip is just enough to be a problem. Oh, no. Not if I do this. Yes. There we go. Wasn't anticipating day 1 back here to be removalist day. Oh no. No, don't be stuck. Come out. Come out of the door. Ow. Oh dear. That's a little bit stuck. Okay, I'm gonna have to grind out that door. This is very stuck. Hope the collision mesh doesn't change terribly much when it goes to a build state. Okay. I'll go back, grab some water, then I'll come back down and fix that up. I also need the parts for... I guess I could go connectors to hook this up. It's probably the easiest way, rather than using a rotor and messing around with all the risks of attaching rotors and whatnot. Trying to think about where to put this connector so that I can put the survival kit here. It is only temporary, so I guess it doesn't need to be perfect. I might get rid of these freight containers, put the connector here against the corner. Put it in like that. I can then put something in between. Survival kit will be relatively well hooked up that way. I think that's probably my least wasteful way of doing things. Because what I was thinking of doing was removing this cargo container and trying to figure out a way to do it all in there, and it just started feeling a bit too, bit silly when I do want this cargo container to be temporary, but, you know, how temporary is temporary when you, still have no idea how the heck you're gonna get any silver. Like, I literally have no means to get silver at all. Still. Well, that's the thing. This is gonna be upside down. Or just completely inaccessible for healing. No, I kind of wanted it to be accessible. That's annoying. Can I sort of move it out so I can get at that screen and still lock the thing? Yeah. Switch, lock. we go. It's hooked up, and I can heal myself. And I can be stuck. And I can barely get past it, but that works. I'll get the bits to put a conveyor line in here, and then we're good. Survival kit moved. That door's yet another thing I have to replace on here. Can be dealt with after the roof. I think maybe the roof is the next bit, because I need to make this space airtight before I can grow the stuff in there. So I need to do that as part of getting food. Because the alternative enclosed plant thing, it actually requires very fancy stuff I do not have. Superconductor components and medical components. So, yeah. The one that doesn't require being pressurized is one I cannot do anyway. So that means, yeah, repairing in here is the next thing. Making this space all airtight again. Which hopefully won't be too hard to do. At least not as hard as the first time, maybe. I'm just going to drop all this scrap in here because I don't need to process it now. And it's another little encouragement to actually get this thing hooked up to the rest of the base. I think I'll go from the bottom up. The plant is going to go. Because this is gonna end up looking less perfect parkland and more actually built for specific purpose. Because it's gonna be my farm. Ah! Taking damage. I didn't quite get my bottles replaced in time. Because I do need to make sure that those farm blocks also have access to light. So putting them out here does make a lot of sense, because there's not going to be as much light in that little room down there. Although there is a bit. I guess I can see how it plays out first before I fully before I build a bunch of them out here. Because I will have to conveyor out here as well. Whoa, that's a lot of bottles.
Inventory full.
I forgot I'd made a bottle pinata out of that thing. All those bottles I put in there just in case I turned up there and there weren't any left. To make that not be a possibility. It's kind of fun coming back to this place after so long. Looking at all of the old blocks that I've used that I definitely would not use now. Things like the standard vents, things like wheels to support those wind turbines instead of columns. There are lots of little touches around here that I think over the next little while I will attempt to tidy up and replace with the versions that I prefer. Alright, now we have to climb, and I have to build windows, and then I have to weld windows. So if I'm going to be doing that, I want to make it so I don't have to use a ladder every single time. Oh yeah, my dead guy. Can I move said dead guy? I can now. Since I can move you now, I should probably... Maybe I can make a little gravestone for him in the Arboretum. Maybe I can put that... Oh, yeah, I can put a little tomb above him, which will be the tree that got lost by the Reaver that presumably killed him. Ah! Oh, that was a miracle I didn't get hurt then. Oh, I remember how slow this process was. And how much scaffolding I'd built inside. Oh dear. Oh dear, what have I done starting with this? Oh dear, what have I done making this the thing that has to be done before I can actually get food? I think I need to go one block higher. Actually, it may even be one block higher than that still. Oh, I hate this. I hate this a lot. I really don't want to die today. Or any day, really, but today would be an especially bad one. I feel like it's especially egregious to die on this particular episode. I don't actually recall how I'd built this before, and I'm not going to go back and look, because I kind of just want to build, just see how it comes together. Excellent. I can actually reach all these from standing on the thing, so I'll get all this welded up first, then I should be able to replace the glass. And I reckon it should just be airtight as is once that's done. I don't think there's significant risk of there being underground damage. It is possible, but I don't think there's a big risk of it. And then all I need is a snowstorm to fill those holes in. By which I mean voxel hands. But I have added weather to the planet. Weather is now enabled. So I may actually see a little bit of bad weather from time to time. Since unfortunately, I don't have the ability to do time lapses anymore, so the weather isn't able to ruin the time lapses. So it is not a thing. They won't be a thing. They may return at some point, but at the moment, it's sadly not something I'm able to do. Alright, looks like all the blocks placed. Now I just have a truckload of welding to do, because so much glass. So much glass. Let's see if I can get this done by morning time. So these sorts of projects like this are kind of one of the things I like about Survival Impossible. This is what I liked about playing this way, is that, you know, everything takes a bit longer. You have a bit more time to think while you're doing things and all that sort of thing. Trouble is, that didn't work super well with recording and getting things finished. Because it meant that I often found myself recording for 4, 6, even 8 hours to get an episode done. That wasn't sustainable. I hoped that I could sort of improve my engineering of my build so that I could not run into that problem. That didn't really work. I'm not very good at thinking that way. And I kind of like sometimes doing the mundane repeated things and how it connects me to what I'm building, that sort of stuff. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get less done. Sometimes the episodes will be short because I'll have had to do lots of repetitive tasks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to limit myself, much like I do with my live streams. I'm going to limit myself to a specific amount of time each week that I play. If I get excited and I want to play more and I've got the time to, I will. But otherwise, I'll just stick to that time and edit down whatever I get done in that time frame, so that I can consistently bring something from this world every single week. That's my plan for now. We'll see if it works out. I hope it does. And hopefully it's still entertaining, even if sometimes the episodes are 15 minutes and sometimes they're 40 minutes. What it does mean, though, is that if I'm doing any of those repetitive bits, like what I'm doing right now, and you guys happen to notice some way that I can improve it, because it's definitely going to be, well, because there's a high chance that I'll get partway through a thing, I can get tips from you guys and ideas of how to do things better while I'm still in the process of doing a thing, rather than after I've already done it and I'd have to undo it to implement any of the suggestions. So I think that could be quite cool. Having a bit more useful time for feedback on a lot of the ideas that I try and implement around this place. Also, if you've got any thoughts on some of the old mods that I should change up or other things like that, let me know. The current mod set is not set in stone. It's something that I expect I might be a bit more dynamic about. I do want to stick with the vanilla survival experience rather than eat, sleep, drink, repeat, because I quite like the way that this one has the radiation stuff, and that's not an option in the other one. So I'm going to stick with this one, but other things I'm happy to have a look at and see what might work better. Something I'm really excited for in terms of improvements around here is some of the stuff that I learned during my Scrapyard series, where I learned how to better align grids that aren't actually locked to each other, so I can build ramps and things like that with railings and everything on them. I think there might be some opportunities around here to build some cool stuff of that style. No, I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me that wonders whether I should have gone with conveyoring this building back to my main building first, rather than building the windows first, but without the windows I can't make the food, so I just felt like it was probably best not to delay it too far, because otherwise I will starve. And I really don't want a starvation death to be my next death. If I can help it. Especially one with me having just set up a new mod and dying, even though I gave myself a little bit of food. I've been silly. I've been very silly. I just realized. So something I did that I added to this that I think on balance is just, it just feels better, is that I increased the radius on welders and grinders. That means that my welder ship doesn't need to get quite so close to things in order to be able to weld stuff. Also, am I out of silicon? Yes, I am. Oh poo. That's not good. I might not be able to finish this class. But basically, if I've increased the radius of my welders, this is a lot safer to use because I can be 1 meter further away. It's not just grinder pits and welder walls that benefit from this. Welder ships benefit heaps from this because I can... They work without me having to get so close that I break things all the time. So, to give a bit of a demonstration of the distance and how it's really not a huge amount more than vanilla, I can be here and things work. So this should make this ship a bit more useful than it would otherwise, which hopefully again feeds back into, you know, building a bit quicker. So I'm completely out of silicon, which means I'm gonna have to see if one of my blueprints I have a silicon boulder, or if not, I'm gonna have to mine a whole lot of stone to get that silicon. And this thing probably needs some event controllers, as does everything else, because they didn't exist when I last played this. Silicon, let's check. GPS. .si, yes, I do have some silicon boulders. Good. Let's disconnect this, and let's go get some. Oh, here comes the fog and the first snow. So I know the Goofy was set up specifically to do this sort of mining, but actually, the rock lobster's great at it. So I think I'm going to use it a bit more. And then actually, surprisingly, with its quite outdated control style, given that I don't have go-to angles, I just have reverse and things. It still works really well. I love this mining rig. I love this vehicle so much. It's genuinely one of my most... I struggle to think of a vehicle that I feel more proud of the engineering success of. Because this thing does everything that I wanted it to do. And it does it pretty well, especially considering the limitations I was dealing with at the time that I built it. As I said, got better options for control than the way that I've done it here. But now that we've got go-to angles and stuff, but even without that, it still is very controllable. And the height that I set these drills at is perfect for slowly going down deeper. Just pass after pass, where it does a pretty good job of preventing me from accidentally digging so deep so quickly that I end up nose down into the ground. Just little things like that. Just better than any other wheeled mining rig I've ever made. Like, the Goofy's pretty funny and pretty silly, and I like it in its own right, but this thing I'm actually proud of. Not just like it. Plus, with the help of you guys suggesting like design elements and things to make it look interesting, and then the name, of course, and the red right-hand drills, it's got some character that other things that I've done similar to it lack, which is really nice. Oh, it is also full. Oh yeah, 50k. It's not bad. It'll easily get me enough glass. Come on. Get up the hill. This stuff, the lack of power might be the only thing that makes me not super happy with how this worked out, because I didn't really balance driving up a steep slope with the amount of cargo that I put on this. Probably overreached on the cargo capacity of the rock lobster. Or just accept that it doesn't go up certain grades, and that's fine. Not everything needs to be able to go up every grade of terrain. Actually, I'm going to swing this through. I don't normally do things like this, but I just thought while watching this and watching myself click lock on the connector through build vision, I should make a standard practice of adding a button to connectors, like on the block itself or next to the block itself, especially ones where there's a decent chance I'll be unlocking and locking it manually. I should add a button that just does lock, unlock. I need to do more things like that where I put physicalized buttons in instead of just using the shortcuts that build vision gives me, because once you do them, they're quicker than using build vision anyway. And I know there are people in the comments who've told me to do this before, and I know it should have registered for me before this, but here we are. Now I'm agreeing with you. Not that I ever really disagreed with you. I was just too lazy and I stuck with the thing that I knew to do well. But yeah, this is editor me saying this now, so hopefully I remember to do it next time and in future things. Yeah, this doesn't feel like they're magical range welders, so assuming my modifications actually did work at all, which it's entirely possible they didn't because I didn't really think to properly test them, I'm happy with the range that I've set. Yeah, maybe I could take the rock lobster down and do some ice mining. Oh, I just had an idea that I should have implemented ages ago. Never thought about this. The small cargo containers on here that are here just for emergency resources, don't show the blocks in the inventory screen. Because the majority of the time I don't need them. Same with all these small hydrogen tanks. I should really get better at cleaning this stuff up. But it can make it so much easier to find stuff if I just get rid of it. Same, the ejectors don't need to be there. And my inventory screen is a lot neater. Yes! I need to be better at doing this stuff. This is one of those things that I should probably just do every single time I build something, is sort out what's visible where and what doesn't need to be visible where. Because a lot of the time it just doesn't need to be. Oh, okay. That should be all the windows done. Let's see if this is airtight. Can I pressurize the Arboretum again? Finally. No. It is not airtight. Where's the hole? What the? Hmm? Oh, man. Oh, wait, that doesn't need to be made airtight, actually. I just need to do this. And it's airtight. Hey! I can breathe in the Arboretum again. Yeah! I think I specifically kind of want these rooms to not be fully airtight from the rest of the Arboretum, because that's actually kind of handy because it means I don't need vents in all the rooms. So these guys should... Habitability 89%. 97. So I've just got to get some dirt now and then that guy can work. Okay, so I should have... Water tank. Got a few liters in there. Water generator, I'm going to turn you off. Now I need to go get some ice and some dirt and then see if I can make my organics turn into something useful. I only really need one vent on, so I'm just going to leave the one. Obviously still more bits to fix, but I'd like to I'd like to celebrate the small things, and getting that bit of the Arboretum done I think is worth celebrating. Alright, off I go. So I think my way down to the ice mine was somewhere off this way. Hopefully I don't mess it up in the dark. Thankfully the spotlights are giving me quite good visibility. So hopefully not too many mistakes. There we go. Oh, slightly rough patch. It's okay. I'll turn the ejectors off because I actually need this stone so I can turn it into gravel. Okay, I should have enough. I think I might need to give myself a road painted down here as well, if I end up using this mine much. Basically, I'm thinking anywhere I travel enough times, I'm going to make track marks with voxel hands so that I get more and more tracks around here and more roads that I can follow that are the safe routes. And give me the confidence to go back and forth along them. Right, so I need to drop the ice over here. And the stone at the main bit. And then once I get the gravel, I bring the gravel over. And this will all be much better once I connect this up to the regular piping system. Alright, so we've got organics, we've got ice, and we've got gravel. Now, if I hop inside where it's pressurized, then I can fiddle around with a few things. First one is I need to get soil into these. So I need to make some of that soil, which means going to the basic assembler that I didn't build. Now, I forgot that I didn't build one of them. Where shall I build that? I think I've got an idea. Need to come back with some bits. I'm going to put a T-piece where that corner was, and then I'll put the basic assembler on the end of that. I chose to use the basic assembler for this thing because it didn't have a purpose for me otherwise. And I kind of felt like, yeah, maybe the basic assembler is the sort of thing you'd be happy to use to make a slurry of organic nonsense or organic mess in once you've got a good assembler. But you wouldn't want to use your good assembler for that. Gross. That was kind of the thinking that was in my head at the time. I came up here to get parts for a T-piece. Now, unfortunately, I think I'll have to wait till daytime before those plants are going to produce anything, because I think they need to have sunlight. So I won't be able to test this straight away, which is a bit sad. Alright, so now we can go back to the production window, get the basic assembler, and we use this dirt one. And I'm going to do 100 and repeat. So it's just going to make the dirt as long as there are the materials to make it, which is exactly what I want, because then that dirt, I'm not sure if it gets automatically pulled or if I have to manually move it across. We'll see. I think I have to manually move it across. We can grab this little guy and go dirt. Pop it in there. Same with this one. And then, having started with a smaller amount of organics, these should process this dirt and produce more organics than we started with. Which to me makes sense. I'm basically growing the organics and building up greater amounts of them, having started with a basic load to begin with. But if we look at the control panel, no sunlight, so it is not producing. So I've got to wait till morning. I don't know how far morning is. It's gonna be a while. Don't really have much else to do, so I might just wait. So I can pick which of these beds, I guess. I'll just pick this one because it's easy to go to. And we'll get through the night. Alrighty, let's go check and see what's going on. Is it working? Yes, it is. We are producing organics. So this whole process is going to be quite power hungry. The basic assemblers needing to run to produce the dirt. These guys, I'm not sure if they actually use any power. They may not use any power. Actually, it's not that power hungry at all. It's just the basic assembler. Wish I'd thought that through before I opened my mouth. The survival kit here, if I provide it with a little bit of silicon, I can make food packets and I can make water packets. So I can now provide myself with food. I should have ongoing supplies for a while. As long as this process can continue for a while and hopefully build up much larger amounts of organic material. Now, obviously, this isn't going to get sunlight for a lot of the day, so it's not exactly ideal, but maybe it'll be long enough of the day that I'll be able to produce enough organics that it counteracts how much I use. So if I have a look, if we go to our production window and foods, the MRE needs 5 organics. And I think I've gone through maybe 10 of them. So I need like 50 organics in a day. Ooh, I'm going to need more of these guys. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to put some down here on the deck there so that it gets sunlight for most of the day and that I can run more of them. That's okay though. I was expecting that. I am all right with that. Well, that's cool. I have achieved things. I have gotten some stuff done. I've come back here and the Arboretum is repaired. That makes me feel very happy. I was very sad that it had been broken when I last played this save, and now to have it fixed, although I do still need to build the wind turbines on the roof, and I need to repair the stuff on the top of the roof here. To have it going and have food production here again is good. It's very good. Next time, I think I'm going to work on... Well, between now and next time, I'm going to get the voxel hands out and redecorate this area in here so that the parkland looks nice again, because I am sad of how it is. But it's going to get nice green grass and everything like that, like it had before. I might even put some snow starting to fill the large reaver holes near my base there. next time I reckon I'm going to want to fix up the rest of the roof to get the Arboretum really back to good and start thinking about how I'm going to build the conveyor linkage from here up to the rest of the base so it's connected. Build the little memorial for that poor soul that was taken by the Reavers who fell on my base. And then the big project that I'm kind of thinking about and working towards is I would like to build a link from here to my ice mining base so that I don't need to mine the stone anymore. I mean, the snow anymore. And also because I've always kind of wanted to have a link between here and there. This link that I'm planning is actually going to be a train. I know I've got the large grid ship that can fly there and back and haul quite a large volume of stuff in the process of that. But trains are cool. And also, then I can build a station down near the airport, and I can start linking more of the things around the place. I don't intend to build any sort of train going to the magnesium mine, but what I can also do, since I have the mod in the save now, is I could go and see if I can find myself any more materials. Because I added the seismic surveying mod, the one that allows you to scan the terrain for stuff. I felt comfortable adding this because when I tested it on Omicron, I found nothing in the scan radius. So it's still going to be very difficult for me to find resources. And even if I find iron, I'm going to ignore it because we've got to use the launch air base, right? Which means I've also got to build some grinders in the collector pit for Manny so I can drop those in without having to handle them and deal with inventory full, inventory full, inventory full, inventory full as I grind them down by hand. So yeah, there is all that and plenty more to come. And I will see you then.